He's finished 20, count them 20, Ironman races, and he lived to tell about it. Now he's here on off duty to reveal how we mere mortals can take our training regimens from athlete to Ironman. And he'll answer the all-important question, sex before the big race, yes or no? I'm talking to Tom Holland. Welcome, my friend. How are you?
Great. Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. I just got to ask, 20 Ironman, is this your therapy? 20 Ironman? You had to do 20? You haven't even stopped, have you?
No, I have problems, Wendy. You know, this is my therapy, and it doesn't seem to be slowing down.
No, it doesn't seem to be slowing down. Your resume reads like fitness crack. I mean, you're an exercise physiologist. You are author of multiple books, including one called The 12-Week Triathlete. You've run more than 50 marathons. That's just on top of the Ironman. Let's start with technology. How can people use technology, apps, website to take their training regimen up a notch, Tom?
You know, I've been doing this sport for about well over a decade now, and just in the last couple of years, the advances are insane. So there are different websites. TrainingPeaks.com is one that I use myself and for my clients online. With that website's different apps, you can use Map My Run, Map My Ride, GPS watches, an infinite number of different technologies that we can use to just completely change and revolutionize the way we train. You can use as little of the technologies you want or as much. A great story that I can tell really quickly is Lance Armstrong's coach is Chris Carmichael. Lance would upload his workouts. So the technology is so crazy. Lance would be training in France, upload his workouts from his watch and his power meter to this website. Chris Carmichael then logs in and can look at exactly in almost real time what Lance had done. And you can look at heart rate, at power, at speed, at temperature, at just an infinite number of variables. So for many people, it's a motivating factor. So you go, wow, I ran 4 miles today, and/or you can take that to a whole different level.
Now let's talk about actually getting down to the training. I mean, when you are going to do an Ironman, you got to get through a 2.4 mile swim, 112 mile bike ride, then you got to do a marathon, 26.2 mile run. Many people might be able to do a part of that, but when you start to put all the pieces together, that's where you sort of say, how am I going to do it? Do you start training for everything at the same time? Do you try and get one piece of the puzzle down before you pick up the next one? What do you say, Tom?
What might surprise people, Wendy, is that it's easier, as crazy as that sounds, than people think. So the human body is meant to move. We're meant to move forward. And I have worked with so many people that never would have thought in a million years that they could get through it. So I want to start by saying that even though the distances, see, I watched it on TV and thought, that's absolutely ridiculous. You know, many, many years ago, who would do that and how can you do that? And now here I am. So I'm a perfect example of someone who didn't think I could do it. I had shin splints. I was on the bench. I wasn't a kid who was, you know, fit really. And you start small. The short answer is you start small. You don't do any of those things at their exact distance when you're first starting out to finish. Come race day, when you just do the swimming, separately the biking, the running, it all comes together. And it's an amazing phenomenon when it does. I got my master's in sports psychology. The toughest thing about Ironman is mental. The toughest thing is not giving up mentally. And it's an amazing, most people can do it physically, but when the day comes, the mental side is really difficult.
Hours weekly, Tom. We're all, or many of us are working. You know, yes. How much do you have to put in? How to even just think about, maybe I can do an Ironman?
In my book, The 12-Week Triathlete, people read it and say, there's no way I could do a half Ironman and Ironman on this limited training. You can. When you, as you said, do a little bit of each and put it together, it's going to come together. I would say the least amount you could get away with, and this is going to sound crazy, is 10 to 12 hours a week on your lower weeks. But it doesn't have to change your life. It really doesn't.
Biggest mistakes people make, Tom, help us out so we don't make them.
People choose time goals, and that's a mistake. They'll say, hey, you know, Bill in my office did an Ironman in 13 hours. I'm better than Bill. I'm going to do it in 12. And so many things happen during that day. The weather can be crazy. You know, you can get a flat tire. And when you're not hitting that goal during the day, mentally you fall apart. So I think first and foremost, you have to choose your goals correctly.
Are you cutting back on your training to get ready for the big day?
Yes, it's such a great question. And that's where a lot of people, that's probably one other place people screw up their race, is they don't cut back. They've been training so hard, you can't cram in your word taper as the official word, anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks before the race starts. So right now, people better be tapering for the Ironman in New York. And that's really hard mentally on people. They say, oh my gosh, I need to train more. I've been training so hard, but you have to decrease. And the rule of thumb is about 25% less each week.
All right. And Tom, final question. Look, you and I have become friends during this interview. You got to answer honestly. Sex. Do you have sex before an Ironman?
We're not boxers, so yeah, no. I've done 20 Ironmans, and if I eschewed from that, I would have a very boring life, and I'd probably be divorced. So
nice.
We're not letting that go.